All right, welcome in. It is can you believe it, week 6. Panthers on the plus, also known as the Bald Brothers Panthers preview with my guy, Eugene Robinson, also Carlene Bragg in the studio. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. We got to include the Bragg, who's a blonde.
Bragg.
Yeah, we got to include that in there.
B,
A lot of B's.
Yeah.
I mean, we got a lot.
Got that alliteration there.
Man, okay, week 5. We got to do a quick recap. Week 5 against the Dolphins. It started out scary. Started out spooky, man. They turned it around.
It was so apropos for like Halloween as we come into Halloween. It starts out scary, but then we kind of, regroup, reset. And I thought that happened with the coaches primarily.
Yeah.
I thought really that Coach Canales and the fact that he stuck to the run when you could easily abandon the run and just try to, throw the ball up.
Which he has done in the past.
Which he's done in the past there, and I know that I get that, but the fact that you stuck back to the run, that was a secret sauce, and that got you all the yardage that you needed and really turned the tide. The performance by Rico Dowdle was absolutely brilliant. A brilliant performance because not only did he break tackles, he ran away from people.
He looked like a young Jonathan Stewart. And Jonathan Stewart actually posted his highlight from back in 2009 when he got to start versus the New York Giants, had 200-plus yards as well. But he looked like Jonathan Stewart out there. I mean, am I seeing things?
There is a – the fact that we have Chuba. Chuba is a very good back. No doubt about it. He deserves his flowers and accolades. When they picked up Dowdle from the Dallas Cowboys, I knew that he had skill, and I knew that he had some flashes.
He had some injury problems too.
But I didn't know he was like this. This dude he's like a Marshall Faulk, man. He's like a Reggie Bush. You can have him throw the ball to him, and he's gonna make things happen. And to see him on display and see all his prowess on display, I thought he was the reason why, the main reason in the offensive line why we got back in the game and why we to win that game.
And I'm curious, I saw an interview with J.C. Horn. Also, Xavier Legette was his teammate, but he played most of his time with J.C. Horn. I wonder if they had some influence in getting Rico here to Carolina. I
didn't know that. I didn't know that connection.
Yeah.
And then let's talk about Xavier Legette because there was something that was emblematic on that touchdown when he caught the ball.
Do I need to apologize?
No, you don't need to apologize.
Okay, all right.
Not
I just
at all.
wanted to check. I wasn't going to apologize.
No, because the scrutiny is still there. But did you see his response?
Yeah.
When he caught the ball with his hands,
yes.
It was a great catch, covered like a blanket, reaches out with his hands, makes this beautiful catch. When he got up and the amount of motion and amount of weight that was lifted off his shoulder that moment,
man.
you seen it. That was the weight of those 3-4 previous games preseason that led up to that saying, look, I'm back.
Yeah.
This is what you can expect from me.
You know what that reminded me of? It reminded me of that moment late night, I believe it was 97, 98, Terrell Owens, when he caught that pass against the Packers.
It was against the Packers.
Yeah. And it was one of those moments. He was struggling with drops, and it turned things around.
It was in a playoff game, and it was actually my boy Darren Sharper. They were in cover 4.
Wait, were you in that game?
No, I wasn't in that game. Okay. I can tell you about the game. I can tell you about the game because on that game, we ended up playing San Francisco because San Francisco ended up beating the Packers, and that's when I was playing for Atlanta, and we ended up beating San Francisco. But on that specific play, he was in tears because he breaks up on an inside route, cuts in front of a Darren Sharper who has about 65 interceptions himself. Cuts in front of Darren Sharper, makes this huge catch, gets hit, and then it wins the game and moves them on into the playoffs, but it was a weight lifted off his shoulder because he had a number of drops that year that kind of signified that maybe he wasn't who we thought he was.
And Dave Canales also said he almost shed a couple of tears too when X got that big catch in the end zone. Also, he had another, I believe that was a third down catch.
He did.
As they were going in for that winning scoring drive. I want to ask, so Chuba, the running game, the offensive line really carried the offense. Bryce had some 2 early turnovers that's been plaguing Bryce all year. Is it sustainable? Because we're going into week 6 against the Cowboys. The defense is not great. I mean, if the Dolphins are like right here, the Cowboys are like right here when it comes to how bad their defense is. But is this sustainable? Can the offense and can the running game carry Bryce whenever he makes mistakes?
Well, absolutely, because what we've been talking about this, don't forget, Hunt and Corbett got hurt.
Yeah.
All right, so they're out of the picture. So you had, I just forgot the kid's name from, not the kid, the man's name from, he went to NC State with Equano. He went to NC State with Equano.
Yes, I know you're talking about.
I forget the guard, but I forget he and the other two that came in, they did a great job of blowing people off the line. I saw the double team with the guard and the tackle on the left hand side.
Was it Taylor Moton?
No, it was Equano and the guard.
Yeah.
But they took not only the defensive tackle back, but they took him back to the linebacker.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, Dowdle, if you got that type of thing, run right there, and you getting into the secondary right now, and you got that explosion, boom, what? No doubt about that. It's because the offensive line, the depth that we have on the offensive line, is because when two guys went out, we had guys who can fill in who, they're not going to embarrass you.
Yeah.
But actually, they played really well, and I got to look up their name now because it's about to bug me. It's going to actually bug me.
Well, while you do that, I gotta ask. Talking about offensive line, I did have concerns about Taylor Moton because he did have some penalties, some false starts, a couple of false starts on the same drive. He did blow some protection, some pass protection. So it's like, all right, I know the Cowboys' defensive line is not great, and they have a guy there in Dallas, Dante Fowler, who did play well against the Jets. I'm just saying,
Yeah, but I tell you what, I'm going to take my offensive line up against this Dallas defense. They haven't. When they lost Micah Parsons, they lost one of the heartbeats of that defense, and now they got to find their identity again.
Yeah.
And now they're going to be like this. Well, we got our identity back. But it's not, because guess what? People dropping 40 points on these dudes.
Easily
dropping 40
you find
points.
the name?
My thing, it didn't even come up.
It's not meant for you to find a name.
What's going on? Look at dead zone.
It wasn't. So I
depth chart. Panthers depth chart. Dead zone.
Let's transition to this. The young guys, you mentioned it before. Look, I think Carolina, and I want to get your input on this, I think they should lean in more to these young guys. I'm thinking of like a Jimmy Horn Jr., Xavier Legette, Mitchell Evans. On that, when we talk about the offensive side of the ball, these young guys, Jimmy Horn Jr. with a fantastic catch on a third down.
Fourth down.
They need to start leaning in on these young guys.
But here it is. You can tell that the coach has already taken your advice, because there was Evans and Jimmy Horn.
Yeah.
Those was consequential plays that I'm looking to throw the ball to maybe McMillan.
Yeah.
I'm throwing the ball to somebody I trust, and you had two young guys that they threw the ball to on consequential down. One for a touchdown with Evans, the other one on the fourth down to move the change. That says Coach Canales has a lot of he has a lot of confidence in Bryce, and that says to Bryce, don't worry, I got you. I got a lot of confidence. I'll put it where you can catch it.
Well, speaking of young guys, I meant to mention T-Mac, who had first half looked great. Second half, he disappeared. And granted, look, you know this better than anybody. You change up the coverage, especially on a young guy. You double team him.
Yep.
You put a safety over the top. It sort of eliminates him, and it forces other receivers to step up, which they did. How can they get T-Mac more involved, especially later in the game? And I think Trayvon Diggs is going to be guarding him this game with the Cowboys.
Yeah, but which is great for one thing. If you got the other guys who are stepping up, the young guys that you said are stepping up, then now T-Mac gets to be used as a decoy at times.
Okay.
So now you get, like, if I move T-Mac and bring him across in motion, you're going to immediately go, oh, they trying to do something with him. So what is the defense going to do? They're going to go ahead and compensate. They're going to go ahead and audible or do something like this. But maybe you might be throwing a screen out to Dowdle. Or maybe you might be throwing a quick slant on the backside to Jimmy Horn. But now you have a luxury that you didn't have before, because the fact that he's getting so much attention, now people go like this, oh, we got to stop this dude. We got to stop this dude. That allows for these young guys, and I can't even put Xavier Legette in that young guy, to go ahead, since your boy's getting all this attention, you got to show up.
So no concern about T-Mac checking out, like Marvin Harrison Jr., for example. So that when he's not getting the ball, he checks out.
No.
All right, okay.
And you can see the enthusiasm in T-Mac when he's playing. And I'm like, okay, the ball doesn't come his way. He still runs the route. I mean, that's Think about this. And then all those those long runs by Dowdle, the receiver still got a block.
Yeah.
And they typically blocking 15, 20 yards down the field.
Okay.
So you can tell how a man doesn't give up, because if he's not blocking on a run play that's really consequential, this and that, or he's taking it off because the ball's going to the right-hand side, he happens to be on the left-hand side, then guess what? Everybody's going to recognize it. Every coach is going to recognize it, and they'll say this, dude, if you don't change that, you can't play here.
Man, a lot to take away from the offense this past week, especially going into Week 6. All right, let's take a quick break. We're going to talk about the defense after the break. You're watching Panthers on the Plus, also known as the Bald Brothers Panthers Preview.
You know that's right.
Here
we got to get that.
We got to get that plug in.
We got to get the blood in.
We'll be right back.
No doubt.
All right, welcome back here on Panthers on the Plus, also known as the Bald Brothers Panthers Preview. Week 6. Right. We're talking about Week 6. My guy Eugene Robinson is here. Let's talk about the defense. Takeaways from Week 5 that we can bring into to Week 6. I know it's a very broad question, but
the leadership of Derek Brown is becoming evident.
A monster on that defensive line.
He's a monster on the defensive line. Understand that he went to Coach Canales and was like, hey, free me up.
Oh, he freed him up hard.
He said, free me up. So that means you got a lot of stunts that you may be doing, some one-on-one stuff that you're trying to do. Maybe you might put a linebacker in a gap to look like to where they have to change their calls.
Yeah.
You know, I thought the defensive line did an incredible job. They held the Miami Dolphins to 19 yards.
Yeah.
Dude, that's –
and I was concerned. You remember last week, I was concerned about A-Chain. Like, I was like, oh, man, this guy had a big game.
Dude, he's a beast, dude.
Yeah.
Dude can run the rock, dude. Everybody know he can run the rock. But, dude, that defense held them to 19 yards. 19 yards. Now you're forced to throw the ball. You have no choice but to throw the ball. All right? And they were successful. I mean, we didn't completely stop Tua. And there's no doubt. And Waddle got busy, and so did Waller.
Yeah.
They had catches, but it was minimized, and it wasn't as explosive as it could have been. And don't forget, Tyreek Hill wasn't in the mix. And because he wasn't in the mix, I think that it just played into our hands.
Right. I will say, speaking of the defensive line, I love Nick Sturdivant, man. That's my guy. He had 4 stops against the Dolphins. We're going to really need him to disrupt what Dak got going on over in Dallas, because
we had 2 sacks? We had 2 sacks or 3 sacks?
I believe it was 2 sacks.
Because I'm saying.
But he came close. He hasn't gotten a sack so far this year, but he had some pretty big plays. But I'm thinking about Dak, because Dak, a lot of people are not talking about it. Dak is an MVP candidate. That dude is out here playing the best ball of his career right now on the defense. On his defense is not great, but I think. I guess I should ask you this as a defensive guy. What do we need to do to disrupt what Dak has going on right now?
So as we shift, from that game, and you kind of put that one to bed, but you take the lessons from it from Miami and you move to the Dallas Cowboys, dude, Dak Prescott is a beast. I don't care what anybody says. That dude is playing some exceptional ball. His quarterback rating was 110, 101 last week. Dude, he's been putting the ball in the spot. And don't forget, he doesn't even have Jamar Chase, man.
He doesn't, yeah.
And Jamar Chase, I heard.
You mean CeeDee Lamb.
CeeDee Lamb. He doesn't even have CeeDee Lamb. I'm telling you, dude. I said, can you imagine when CeeDee Lamb gets back in the mix? Can you imagine that? Dude, I'm saying the weapons he has to throw to, he's been making guys look good because he's delegating the ball, he's distributing the ball. It's the same thing that we said about Brady with a Wes Welker, with a Hogan, with a Branch. You don't even know the guys. You don't know the guys' names, right?
They're not household names at all.
But who makes him a household name?
Brady.
Is Tom Brady makes him a household name. And it's the same thing what's happening with Dak. Dak is making his guys, oh, man, now you're starting to recognize, since you don't have CeeDee Lamb, you're starting to recognize the other guys on the squad. Why? It's because of Dak. Dak is playing exceptionally well right now. And so you have to stop him. I'm a proponent and always this. So you ask me how to stop a quarterback, I'm going to tell you we got to get in the face of the receivers to make sure that we disrupt their pattern, and we got to blitz the quarterback. We got to put people in those gaps, get him thinking if he's under the center or if he's in that shotgun, let him see that there's 7 people about to bust you in the mouth.
Because the worst case scenario, I think back to when Dallas played the Giants, is getting into a shootout because ultimately the Cowboys won. I mean, they're going to, they win a lot of games when it comes to, at least this season, when it comes to just scoring points. Like, they could just throw up points.
Well, just like take that Green Bay Packer game. There was 40-40. It went 40-40. They went into an extra period, 10-minute period, the overtime period, and it was based on whoever had the ball last was going to definitely score, no matter what. They was going to score. Dak was impressive. So was Jordan Love impressive. Both offenses was impressive. They really imposed their will on the defense. Now, we had a great defensive performance against the Miami Dolphins. I need y'all to show up big time because the Dallas Cowboys, they run the ball well, and Dak is on fire.
I want to point him out. I want to give him some love. A guy who struggled with injuries. The running back there, I thought I had his name written down. Javonte Williams. There we go. Javonte Williams is having a breakout season. He had some injury problems in Denver. We didn't even know who was in their backfield at the beginning of the year in Dallas, and now he's looking like.
Don't forget, Dowdle was in that backfield. Rico Dowdle was in that backfield last year.
Yeah. He had a 1,000-yard season last year.
And Williams, dude. Yeah. That only speaks to the giftedness of their offensive line.
And George Pickens. I got to mention George Pickens. But with that being said, George Pickens has been having a good year with Dallas.
But since CeeDee Lamb is not there, he's become the guy, man.
He's used to being the number one guy.
He was always a number one guy, and now he's saying, look, I'm still that same dude.
And they had Ryan Flournoy, he's a young guy for Dallas, also stepped up. I say all that to say, Mike Jack, that's my guy. He struggled against the Dolphins. And so I'm looking at what Dallas has on offense, and I'm like, man, it can't all fall on J.C. Horn. What do you need to see? And also, I look at Lathan Ransom, also struggled in coverage, young guy.
And also, you're going to have also Smith Wade.
Sean Smith Wade, is he back?
Yeah, he's supposed to be back.
Okay.
I think he's supposed to be back. So I'm
that
hoping,
should help.
Oh, that will help tremendously because he is an incredible cover corner. But here it is. Let me go to Jack's defense.
Yeah.
You got Waddle gets behind him, and Waddle had a really great day against him, right? Jack is really a really good professional, and I know that he's going to go look at the film and he's going to say, okay, when the guy when what's his name just ran by him, I'm looking at him and I saw him get run by. I'm saying, dude, why you got your eyes to the backfield? They ain't throwing the ball to you. So he's going to get back to the fundamentals of football because he knows that Pickens coming in here and the way that Dak is playing, that who they going to pick on? They're going to pick on him. Yeah. They're going to say you're the weak link. All right, they're going to say you are the weak link, and we're going to pick on you.
And the Panthers, their corners don't travel either, so it's going to be a scenario where he's going to have that one-on-one matchup.
Exactly, but he is before this game with Waddle. I said he is perfect. I said, dude, he's playing well. He just had a tough game. Yeah. Now, I would expect a professional like himself to go ahead and learn from that game and go, okay, I'm ready. I bet you he's doing extra stuff, even as we speak right now. I bet you he's doing extra stuff.
I mean,
working on his hands, working on his feet. I bet you he's doing extra stuff.
He's a ball brother.
I know. You know that's right. And he's a baller.
He's a baller.
He's a baller. So I don't have the concern that I would have. Yeah. I think that this defense is really rounding out. And I'm going to go set what Jonathan Stewart says. Is this like the turning point that we see? Do you feel like there's like a turning point?
I want to say that. I hesitate because of the performance we had in New England. However, this is another home game. It seems like, especially on the defensive side, we know how to tackle at home, which, to answer your question, I believe is a turning point game. I believe the coaching staff has matured. And I think our players just kind of looking at their body language. I'm like, man, these guys did not give up at all. These guys were they believed that they could win the game, and I know that sounds cliche, but they were in it the entire game. You never felt like they lost themselves, or they felt like, all right, time to hang it up, time to get ready for next week.
Well, let me remind you, they were getting destroyed by the Arizona Cardinals. Destroyed by them.
Came back.
Destroyed. They came back at the end and almost pulled out the game.
Didn't have enough.
I know. I mean, they were getting destroyed. And I was like, man, it was like 20-something to 3 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
I mean, they were getting their head busted. And they came all the way back up within a possession to go ahead and win a game.
I got to shout out real quick, and we don't have to get into it because I feel like they're going to jinx me. Kristen Rosebloom, Trevin Wallace, y'all played a heck of a game. Shout out to those guys.
Oh, well, let me tell you why what accounted for some of the game. And this is inside information with listening to Coach Canales talk about. There's something called the green dot. Whoever has a green dot.
Yeah.
So they changed the green dot from Rosebloom to Trevor Wallace.
That's what. Okay. I was wondering.
So now he was calling the plays, and they changed up the responsibilities. And now, this is what happens when you give the plays.
Yeah.
When I get the play, and I'm telling him, I'm going to make something like this. When I say we're going to run a 22 banner, or we're going to run 34 double hurricane, something like that, whatever it is, right? Then I'm going to say something like this. Hey, watch the trap. If he audibles, watch out for the toss sweep. They like the toss sweep in there. So now you're getting the commentary as you get a play out. And now you're getting a reminder to the defensive line, or maybe even the secondary from Wallace going like this. Hey, watch out for this. Watch out for that.
So that was, okay, all right.
And now Rosebloom can free up and just go play.
He's not overthinking.
He ain't overthinking.
Okay.
The biggest thing that you hate when you've got, I got to the right. Okay, you say the play. Oh, they got trips formation. No, they're going to double formation. Oh, they're in slot. Oh, we're in slot. Hold up, wait a minute. Oh, I got to call it straight to the other side. You got all that stuff that's going on. You didn't have to worry about that. Somebody calls it, boom, you line up and go like this. I'm about to go in here, I'm about to go eat. I'm about to go eat.
Well, hopefully they can go eat.
I'm about to eat
against the Cowboys, man. All right, man. All right, let's take a quick break. We'll be back here on Panthers on the Plus, a.k.a. the Ball Brothers Panthers Preview Week 6, Episode 6. All right, welcome back here on Panthers on the Plus, a.k.a. the Ball Brothers Preview. So normally during this segment, we get quick hitters, but we want to take the time to show somebody their flowers, give somebody their flowers. None other than my guy, Eugene Robinson, who recently was named one of the 50 greatest players in Seattle Seahawks history. You see some of this video right here. You see Eugene right there, cheesing with the football in his hand.
Oh, that's your boy.
Hey, you didn't know we were going to do this.
I had no idea that you were going to do that.
He was like, where are we going?
I'm like, hey, I don't know where we're going, yeah.
One, congratulations, man.
Thank you.
I'm proud of you, man. I just want to know, like, when you got the news, what was that like, and what was it like being there?
So it's the 50th year for the Seattle Seahawks, and they asked the fans who were the top 50 players, and you had to, they voted, and they gave certain different criteria to meet. And because I played there 11 years, and plus I had, so many records and so many interceptions, fumbles, all that stuff. I was voted one of their top players. I was along with the guys that came in my class that I played with: Ken Easley, John Harris, Dave Brown. Those three were voted in it also. And then we had Sherman, Richard Sherman, Cam Chancellor, and
Legion of Boom,
and Earl Thomas. And so we had those guys got voted in. And as I look over it, and I'm like, my goodness. I wasn't even going to go to the thing. I was like, I was good.
Really?
I didn't want. I wasn't going to even go. My wife told me, you got to go. And so I go to the thing, and I'm so glad I went because I would have missed out on the opportunity to go meet a lot of my friends and Kurt Warner, Steve Large, and Jim Zorn, Dave Craig, all the guys who I locked arm and played ball with and whatnot that also made it. And so it was an honor and a privilege. And thank you very much for doing something as simple as this, giving me some flowers. I appreciate you guys.
You are the man. I tell this story. I told you this story. I was headed back from New Orleans last year. I got a last-minute flight because my flight got canceled. Get in a good seat, sit down. Guy asked me where I'm from. and I forget his name because we talked about it before, but he says, Charlotte, okay, where do you work? WCNC Charlotte. Man, I got a good friend that works there. His name is Gene. I said, Gene, what's his last name? Robinson. I said, oh, Eugene Robinson. So it just shows you, man, people love you, man. People know you. And you did great stuff, man, in your career. You had a long career, a blessed career. I do want to ask you this, man. What was some of the conversation? Were you guys sort of reminiscing, going through old times?
It was old times, and don't forget, like, I'm 62 years old, and the guys who I played with was like either 5 to 7, 8, 9, some of them 10 years older than me, and so they're not walking too good. And so I'm like, hey man, what's up? How you walking, bro? But we just sitting back and just talking and reminiscing, and then when we went out to the field, to hear the roar of the crowd.
Oh, man.
Seattle is one of the loudest stadiums on earth. There's no doubt about that. To hear that roar of the crowd was incredible, because what the Seahawks were able to do for us as the old guys, they let us hear the applause one more time.
Yeah.
And I sat there going, wow. And the stadium was erupting. Wow. We went on a blue carpet.
Yeah.
And went through the blue carpet, high five.
Yeah.
It was electric, and you got to feel as a football player once again, and you got to relive those moments without getting hit anymore. You got to relive those moments.
Love that.
But it was incredible, and it was done extremely well.
That varsity jacket, man, that's pretty sweet, man. I like that varsity jacket.
Let me just say, Walter Jones, who played left tackle for the Seattle Seahawks, they had insignias on, like the All-Pro patch, your Pro Bowl patch, and they had your name, your position, and 50th. They had all stuff, right? And then they had a star and how many times that you were All-Pro. So some of us got 1 star, 2 stars, Pro Bowl 2, 3 stars. This dude, Walter Jones, had like 11 stars. 11 star. Every year he was there, he had a star for All-Pro.
Yeah, I mean, it's great.
And dude, I didn't realize how big he was. I stood next to Walter Jones. I'm going like this. No wonder he was smacking the life out of people. The dude's 6'7", and he was put together, dude. Like somebody made this cat in an art class, dude. I swear to you, dude. I kid you not. I kid you not. Somebody made this cat in the art class, and he was. I'm like, I see why you smacking cats, dude. Dude, he was one of the biggest men I've seen, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, I'm glad he's on my side.
And look,
shoot.
I'm glad you're on our side,
I appreciate
dude.
it,
It's been great doing the show with you so far, but we just wanted to give you a flowers. I'll give you a flower.
Give me a pound on that one. You see that?
You see it
No,
through the
you
camera.
seen it?
We're going to end it on that one. You can't get better than that, man. Thank you, guys. Episode 6, week 6. Hopefully we got you ready for week 6 against the Cowboys. Panthers on the plus. My guy, Eugene Robinson, Seattle Seahawk. Great Eugene Robinson. One of the best players in Seahawks history, Eugene Robinson, here on the show, also known as the Ball Brothers Panthers Preview. And Carlene Bragg, too. The great producer.
Thanks,
I see you, B-Bragg.
The great producer,
Thanks,
Carlene Bragg.
everybody.
Also a Gamecock.
I'm also a Gamecock.
We'll talk about that later.
Okay, all right.
We'll see you guys next week.